We are going to cover string slicing in Python in great detail. If you are working in the web development, data science, machine learning, AI, NLP, wherever you are working, text manipulation is one of the common thing you work with. Do you want to know what is the secret sauce behind text manipulation? How you can master in text manipulation? It's all about slicing. In this video, I will show you how to slice and dice like a pro, making your code cleaner, faster, and way more powerful. So we will start with what is indexing in string, what is string slicing in Python, slicing syntax with positive index, how the slicing work with the default syntax, what is the syntax for the reverse order or the negative index. So you see, we are going to cover each and everything possible in string slicing. We are not going to leave anything behind. So without wasting any time, let's jump to our today's video, string slicing in Python. Before start looking into the slicing, let's spend few minutes to understand how string represent in Python, what is index, and what is indexing in Python. We have this hello world string with us, and that string assigned to a variable greet. Now in Python, this string represent as an array of bytes. Want to access any element of this string, you want to know the position of that element, right? And this position is denoted as 0, 1, 2, 3, like index. Index is nothing but the position of element, and by default it starts from left to right, and the first position of the index always start with 0. If you want to understand what is the position of the h, then it will be index will be 0. For L it will be 2. For W it will be 5. The process by which you access this element using index, that called indexing. You want to access the h here, then what will be the syntax? Then it will be your greet variable. Then in the square bracket you use the index here of h. What is the index? 0. So greet 0 will give you h. Then for L the index is 2. Then it will, if you use the index in the square bracket 2, then you will get L. So this is all about the positive index in Python. But Python support negative indexing also. As we seen that positive index start from left to right and is always start from 0. Like that, negative indexing start from right to left, and it always start from -1. So the rightmost letter or element of your string will always have a negative index -1, and the leftmost one always have a positive index 0. So for example, if you want to access the D here, then you can always use the -1 here with the negative index. Then you can access the last element of this string. That if you want to get the hold of h here, then you will use -10 here if you want to use the negative indexing, like that -8 for L. So let's quickly look into in the code how it works. If I use 0 here, then I am able to access the h here. Let's print it. We get h here. Now let's say we want to get W here. So what will be the index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then we'll use 5 here, right? Then we'll get W. See, we got W. Try to use a negative index also. Let's say we want to get the last element of this string, that is D. Then what you will use if you want to use a negative index? Very easy, you use -1, because we know negative index start with -1 and that start from right to left. See, we got D here with -1. That's it. So I hope it is clear now what is index, what is indexing, and how Python represents string. Now we can jump into the slicing, how slicing works. Let's try to understand what is slicing. So we have a string hello world here, and we're trying to get the slice of that particular string, or the part of the string, or the substring. Let's say world. We are trying to get the world from the hello world. We're trying to get the substring of this whole string. So the process to get the substring or the slice of the string or the part of the string, that is called slicing. Let's say you have a pizza and you want to try to get the slice of a pizza. Then what you will use? You will use either a knife or you will use a pizza cutter. So here in the Python string also, when you're trying to get the slice of a string or the substring, then you will use the colon as the operator. Now, if we see the slicing syntax, it starts with the string. We have the string like grid. Then in the square bracket, we have three parameters. So slicing takes three parameters: start, stop, and step. So what is start? Start is nothing but the first index of the slice. For example, you are trying to get the world out of this hello world. Then what will be the start parameter? Your start parameter will be 5, because your first element is w and index of w is 5, and we said the start parameter is the first index of the slice. So we'll take 5 here, start. Then colon. What will be stop? Stop says the last index of the substring plus 1. So your substring is world, so last index is 9, so d index of d element is 9, so your stop will be 9 plus 1, 10. This is very important. So stop will be the last index of the string plus 1. Okay, don't forget this plus 1 when you're using the stop. And next is the step parameter. Step is the size of the step you want to take. Very interesting. So for example, in the world, we are trying to get each of the letter here. So we are taking one step at a time to get each of the element here. So that's why our step will be 1 here. But for example, you do not want to get each of the letter here. Instead of you want to get W, R, and D. Then how many steps you will take? You will first have the W here. Then you will ignore O and you will go to R. So you are taking 1 and 2. 2 steps you are taking to get the R. Then you are ignoring L and you are getting D. So 1, 2. So in this case, you are taking 2 steps at the time. That point of time, for this case, you will use step is 2. Hope it's clear. It will be more clear when you see an example in the code. Let's go to the code. So we have this string hello world, same string. We are trying to get the world here. Okay. So what is the index of W? W is 5. And what is the index of D? Is 9. So our stop will be 9 plus 1, 10. And we are trying to get each of the letter here. So our step will be 1, right? Let's write it. So this is our grid, our variable, string variable, square bracket, the start. As I said, we are trying to get world here. The first index of this substring is 5, because W, index of W is 5. We put 5 here. Stop is the last index of the substring, that is 9 plus 1. So we got 10 here. And this step, we are trying to get each of the letter here. So we are taking each step, one step at a time. That's why you're putting step 1 here. Run it. See, we got the world here. Great. Now let's try to get the hello here. Then what will be the syntax? We are starting with H, right? So what is the index of H? 0. Because we know index start with 0. In the left hand side, the first letter index is always 0. So we are using start parameter 0. What is the index of 4? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Index of O is 4, right? So 4 plus 1, 5. So stop parameter will be 5, because we want to get up to O and index of O is 4. So 4 plus 1, 5. And what is the step we are taking? We are taking step of 1, because we are trying to get each of this letter. So each step, one step at a time. So we are using step 1. Let's run it. See, we got hello here. Now let's say another example. Here we are using step 2. Why are you using step 2? We do not want to get each of the word here hello. We are going to, instead of that, we want to get H, we are going to L, and we want to get the O. So you see how many steps we are taking? The first we start with H, we are not taking E, we are taking L. So 1, 2. So our step is 2. We are not taking the second L, instead of taking O. So 1, 2. So here, that's why you're using step 2 here. Run it. You should get HLO. See? So hope it clears. So when you are using the slicing syntax, the first index of the slice, if you do not mention it, then its default is always 0. I will show you with an example. Same thing, if you do not mention the stop parameter here, then last index of the substring plus 1, right? That is the stop parameter. If we do not mention anything, then it will take the default length of the string. For example, this, if we are using this hello world, and if we do not mention the stop parameter anything there, then it will take the whole length of the string. We have a 10 elements here in this 10 letters here in this particular hello world word. So it will take the 10 here. So it is the default is the, if you do not mention anything, then the length of the string it will take as a default. And if you do not mention the third parameter step, then it always take as a default is 1. Another thing I just wanted to mention this. So you see that step is by default 1, and it's always, it goes from left to right. Great, we understand that. But if you want to reverse it, if you want to go from right to left, then you need to use -1. When you use negative sign in the step, then it will take right to left. The order will change. I will show you everything. But first, let's look into the start, stop, and step for the defaults one. If we do not mention anything, how it behaves. Let's see in the code. Here we have the previous example. Now let's say we do not mention anything in the start parameter. We know if we do not mention anything, what it will take? It will take 0, right? So if we run it, then I get the whole string because it starts with 0 and it has the up to D 9 plus 1 10. So it's cover whole string and step is 1. Great. Now let's say I have a start parameter 5 and I am not mentioning anything into the stop parameter. Okay. So we know if we do not mention anything in the stop parameter, what it will do? It will take the length of the string, and length of the string is 10. So you can imagine that here you have 10. So if you are not mentioning anything, let's run it. See, we got the world because it starts with 5 and it has the 10 here. So we got the world here and step is 1. Now let's say I do not mention anything in the step. See, if I do not mention anything, what will happen? You know, right? It will have the positive 1 by default. So then I'll get the same result as previous. See, we got the world here. Now let's say I do not mention anything into the start also. So our syntax is like this. I do not have anything in the start. I do not have anything in the stop. I do not have anything in the step also. Then what will happen? Start will take 0 by default. Stop will take the whole length of this. What is the length of our string? 10, right? So yeah, so you can imagine that we have 10 here because I do not mention anything in the stop and I didn't mention anything in the step 2. So by default it takes 1. So you can imagine what we'll get here if we run it. Yes, we'll get the whole string because it start with 0, stop is 10 and step is 1. So we are get the hello world whole string. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Let's see the slicing syntax for reverse order where we are going to use the positive index. Okay. The next another use case we will see where we are going to use the negative index. That we'll see very soon. There are a few things we need to know. First, we understand that the step parameter actually control the order of our slicing, right? And step parameter in by default is positive and +1. So we know by default the slicing work left to right. But when we use the negative sign into the step parameter, then the order changes of the slicing. Then it goes right to left. Then what we understand is if we want to reverse the string, then we need to use negative sign into the step parameter. Let's say we are using -1. So it will go right to left. It will start from D and it will go to D, L, R, O, W, something like that. It will reverse the string. Now, there are some rules. Now, when you using this negative state, which is go from right to left, then your start index or the start parameter always will be greater than stop parameter. Why I'm saying that? If you think logically, it will be clear to you. Say, if you are trying to get world here, okay, in the reverse order. So if you are using -1 as a step parameter, you're asking Python to go right to left. And let's say you use the start parameter is 5 and you use the stop parameter is 10. Then you are telling Python to go from right to left, your start parameter 5, and when it go to right to left, it will try to search in the left hand side the 10 index and you will not get it. so it will not return anything to you. So logically also we think, now if we think, then we know that if we want to get the world in the negative, reverse order, then our start parameter will be 9. And here there is a little difference when you going right to left to left to right for the stop parameter. Stop parameter will be the, we'll see the last element, index of the last element, that is W here, because we are going right to left, reverse order. So the index will be 5. When we are going left to right, the positive step, we are in the stop parameter, we are doing +1. But when we are going right to left, we need to do -1. So it will be, stop will be 5 - 1, 4. So your start parameter will be 9 colon, stop parameter will be 5 - 1, 4, and your step will be -1. Then you will get the reverse of the word here. If you want to reverse the whole string, the syntax is there, double colon. So there is, you will not mention any stop and stop, and you just using the negative -1 in the step. Then you will get the whole reverse of the string. That is the syntax of the reverse of the whole string. Okay, let's see these things into code. So let's say our first use case is we want to get this world here, but in the reverse order. So let's put 2 colons here. First write the step. We know that we want to get in the reverse order. So we will use minus here and 1. Okay, because we want to get the whole word here. Now then what will be the first parameter? I said the first parameter, that is start parameter, will be greater than stop parameter. So what will be your first letter here? First letter will be D. What is the D index? 9, right? Let's put 9 here. Or the last element of this world, if we go from the right to left, last element will be W. And what is the index of W? W is 5, right? So I said when we go right to left, then we need to have the index of the last element -1. Run it. See, we got the reverse one. So 5 - 1, instead of 5 - 1, you can write 4 here. Same thing. We got the reverse of the world. So now we understand how it's working when it's going to right to left. Now let's try to let's try to do some mistake here and see how it works. We have the negative -1, so it will right to left, and here in the world we have the start parameter less than the stop parameter. So world, we just put 5 here, and here D we put 10. Okay, stop. But we are asking Python to go right to left, and it is searching here. It will never get the 10 here anywhere. Okay, the stop parameter it will not get, so it is not returning anything. So hope this thing clear to you, this concept is clear to you. Now I also said that you can reverse the whole string. So the syntax is this. So you have the greet variable, then in the square bracket you do not put anything in the start and stop, and the step use -1. We got the whole string in the reverse order. So I hope you understand now how slicing works with the positive index. Now we'll see the use cases when we do the slicing with the negative indexing. The slicing with negative index. Okay, and it's very interesting. So there are few things we need to keep in mind when you're using the slicing with negative index. The rightmost index, that always start with -1. You remember we already looked into the index that when you use the negative index, it start from right to left, and the rightmost index start with -1. So that is the first one. Next is the step sign should be negative if both start and stop index are negative. We'll see this in the example why I'm saying it. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the substring from there. So when we look into the code, it will be more clearer to you. But you can remember this when you're using negative index, the step sign should be negative if your both the start and stop, both the parameter is negative using the negative index. Third is the start index is always will be greater than the stop index. For example, if you are going from the right to left, then -1 is the start index, and let's say -6 will be your stop index. But you can see the -1 is greater than -5, right? So that's why I'm saying the start index always will be greater than the stop index when you're using the negative indexing. No step size is not an option when using negative index. This also will be clear when we look into the code. But one thing keep in mind, when you are using negative step size and negative index, remember the stop parameter again also here will be the last element index and -1. So when you are using positive index, step 1 is positive, where the stop parameter is the last index +1. When you are using positive index but negative step size, then your stop parameter will be the last index -1. Same true for the negative index also. When you are using negative index, the stop parameter will be the last element index -1. Hope it is clear, and it will be more clearer when you see the example in the code. Let's go to the code and see the examples. Okay, let's try to understand slicing with the negative index. Okay, so we have again our hello world here. So first we'll start with the step parameter -1. So when you see the -1, is go to right to left. We want to, let's say, get the world in the reverse order. So what is your start parameter? Start parameter -1, because we know the D is -1 here. So when you are using negative in this, the right hand side of your string, the last element of your string always start with -1. So D is -1 here. What is the index of W? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So -5. I will write -5. But we know that the stop parameter will be the index of the last parameter and -1 when you are using negative index or you are using the negative step. So -5, -1. So this is clear. So -6, right? Let's run it. Yeah, we got the result, world. So hope it is clear to you. There is another scenario. Let's say we have using negative index, but we didn't mention anything in the step parameter. And we said that that is not an option. If you run it, you see we are not getting anything. Why? Because actually you're providing the contradicting information to Python. You are saying that start with -1, very good, go up to -6, stop parameter is -6, that it will get the up to W, because -5, -1, -6 will get up to W, but you are not mentioning in the step parameter, so it taking the by default 1, so +1. This is important. When you are not mentioning anything, by default it's the +1, and when it's +1, that means it's just saying go left to right. But when you try to go to left to right from D, it will not get anything here, right hand side of D. So you are giving the contradicting information to Python. So that's why it could not able to return anything. Another use case is, I want to show you that you can use combination of positive and negative index both. Say for example, you have step parameter -1. So that's why that means you are telling that you go right to left. Very good. Now you are mentioning the first parameter, the start parameter -1. Very good. So you are saying that you start to the D, and W you use -6. Instead of that, I am telling the W index is 5, right? And as we are using -1 step, so if we want to get W, we need to do the -1 here. If our step was 1 positive, then what we used to do? We used to +1. But when the step is negative, then we have to do -1, right? And that means we are getting 4, right? Then also we'll get the same result. You see why we are getting it? Simple explanation is, each element of this string had both positive and negative index. For example, H is the positive index of H is 0, negative index of H is -10. Okay, like that. For D, the positive index is 9, negative index is -1. Same like W also, the positive index is 5 and negative index is -6. So that's why it's working fine. So hope this slicing concept is now clear to you. But if you still face any issue, and you try to, if something is not clear, try to look into it again in the video and try to practice by yourself. Then also, if it is not clear to you, then please put in the comment section. I will try my best to help you there. If I can improve somehow from my side to, so that you can understand concept better. That for also feedback is very much welcome from you. You can always go to the comment section, let me know how we can improve my, this lecture style, so that it will be more clearer to you. So I will try to make the changes. But again, if you face any issue, let me know in the comment section. I will try to help you. So in last two videos, we covered how string works in the memory, how string stored in the memory, how different string methods work. Last video, we covered the f string, how f string works in detail. And in this video, we tried to cover the slicing concept in great detail. We tried to make sure that we covered each and every concept in slicing. Hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new. If you like today's video, then please hit the like button and share with others. I am going to share the code, today's code, in the Git repository and provide the link in the description box as well as into the comment section. In the next video, we are going to cover dictionary in detail, and we are going to cover few of the string remaining concept like string methods and the regular expression in other videos. So stay tuned on that. If you are not subscribed in this channel yet, then please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel, as I upload new videos every week and you will not miss any. You will get notification. That will help you in your coding journey. So see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning, happy coding. Bye. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with others. If you are new to this channel and not subscribed yet, then please hit the subscribe button so that you will get notified when I upload new content. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and happy coding.